What up, everyone? Welcome back to a new video on the channel. Welcome to some Horizon 5, and in today's video I am going to do another wheel spin video. The last one that I uploaded last week was actually really good. It turned out to be a very good video because of the tune that I ended up building on one of the cars that I got on the wheel spins, which was this thing, if you guys haven't seen it. So let me show you real quick here. It's in Subaru. There it is, right there. And the tune is... I'm blind. There it is, right here. This 2005 SDI is what we got in the last video, and I turned this thing into an absolute track monster. It drives so well. Go watch the video if you haven't already. It's just like 5 or 6 videos ago. It's on the channel. You can easily watch it. It turned out to be a really good car. So hopefully in today's video I can also build something quite nice. But it depends on the budget, and it depends on what car I actually end up getting. So the way this works, by the way, if you're new to the channel, first of all, subscribe if you're new to the channel. But anyway, if you're new and you haven't seen any of these videos, basically I spin the wheel spin. It's all completely random what I get. If I get money now, then I'll have to spin again. I'll do it until I get a car, and then the spin right afterwards will determine the budget of our build. And sometimes we can get a lot of money, sometimes we can get only a little bit of money. That's what makes it fun, and that's what makes it random. I think people have determined that it should be a minimum of 20,000 credits for the build, just so we can actually build something out of it, because everything in this game is very expensive in terms of credits. So if I get like 4 grand, I won't be able to pretty much do anything with the car. I'll end up changing like I don't know, I was about to say change a set of tires, but those are like 10 grand a piece, so you can't even do that. So just change whatever, an intake, and then you have an extra 10 horsepower. So it makes no sense for the budget to be so low. I'm gonna start spinning them quickly, because for those things, this is taking way too long. Imagine we got another one. Imagine I got another SDI. It'd be so stupid. I wouldn't do it again. Mate, it's been like 10 spins. Can I get a car, please? Oh, the Countach would have been so sick. Okay, an ATSV, a car that I don't think I've driven in this game. Okay. Okay, I feel like this could be a really good drift car if I build it properly, like really well. Anyway, let's have a look. Add it to my garage, and then obviously this next spin will determine our budget. If we get another car, then it's gonna be sold. 12,500. We have to spin again. I have to go in again. I have to go in again. Whatever I get now is going to be added on to that budget, because like I said, it's a minimum of 20k. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, so I pretty much have unlimited money to build this thing into whatever I want to build it for. Well, the Cadillac seems like it would be a car that would love to go sideways, so that's what I'm going to be building it for. Like I said, I don't think I've driven this car in this game at all. No, I've driven the CTSV before. That was kind of fun to drive, I think, if I remember correctly. I drove a stock as well. And then we have the ATSV, which is the basically the coupe version of this thing, and it's I think it's the same size, except it's just a coupe version, pretty much. Sorry, the coupe version, or is it just a smaller one? I don't even know, to be honest with you. But anyway, we have 2 of them. I'll take one out. The Cadillac Limo drives really well sideways, so I feel like this could also be really good sideways. Oh, the ATSV has a V6. Oh, yucky. Oh, that is... I don't like that. You can't say Cadillac and then put V6 in it. That's just a big no-no. Cadillacs have to have the V8 in it. They have to have a big dirty LS in it. Alright, let's bring it over into our festival and do stuff to it, because I don't want to drive that anymore. It's making me sick. Right, well, with the unlimited budget that we have, I'm pretty sure I can do... Oh, do we have wide body? Oh, we do have a wide body. Oh my god, this is very wide. Oh my god. For only 5 grand, I can turn this thing into a GT car. Like an actual GT, like 3 race car. Jesus Christ, this thing looks crazy. That diffuser is ridiculous. I bet you that actually diffuses something, instead of just a little rear valance that some of the cars have. That's so wide. That's so wide. Oh my god, I'm putting that on. But yeah, like I said, we have unlimited budget to do whatever we want, so definitely keeping that on. Surely we have like a big wing to go with this, right? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Oh, it's so wide as well. It's really low. It's like a very low profile wing, but it's so wide. Alright, actually, before we change the tires, I need to see what sort of engine upgrades and things we can do to this thing. We can't engine swap it, unfortunately. Which means I'm stuck with this dog engine that we have here. I mean, what's the torque curve look like actually? So pretty much lag, and then lots of boost. That's what our torque curve looks like. Even the power is the same. It's just lag, and then at around, what's that? 2,500 RPM? 3,000 RPM? It starts to kick in. Okay. At least it has a very linear one at the top. Like it goes pretty straight across the torque curve. So it has a lot of torque for quite a lot of the rev range. Like peak torque, I mean. So it's not bad. Alright. Well, I'm gonna upgrade this thing. Give it the beans. Well, it's looking well different now. That rise in power, in horsepower, up the rev range peak is at the very, very, very top of the rev range. What's that, like 6,500, 7,000 RPM? Jesus. It's a little bit louder than what it was before. Turbos are very, very loud. The blow off valve. I don't really like the way this thing sounds, but I like the turbos, so that sounds really good. 914 horsepower, 1,060 newton meters of torque, and it weighs 1,600 kilos. I mean, that weight's gonna come down anyway now after we start changing some things here. Brakes. Drift suspension. Oh, this gets low. Oh, this gets real low. Oh, I like this. Oh, I really like this. We can turn this thing into a big Stancy boy car. I can bring it on one of my maps and lower it even more. Oh, this should be fun. This should be real fun. Alright. And then the diff, I'm just going to buy the off-road diff. That just fully locks it. I think I'm pretty much done. Oh, well, I'm not done. Never mind. Continue working. We need tires and wheels. It's the one thing I completely forgot. So like I said, we can get even lower as well if we put the off-road tire compound on this thing. If I decide to actually turn it into a Stancy boy car. I do think that this should handle pretty well if I give it snow tire compound. The reason why we go with snow tire compound is just because they handle better. I think they're a little bit harder. So, like the actual compound itself, I think it's a little bit harder. So it's a bit better going sideways. It just slips a little bit easier. As for the wheel width, we have 255s in the front. I'll upgrade to 265s, even though that's already very wide. And for the rear, we're at 275, so we can do 305s as well. For that, I think we should be good in terms of like a median for grip. I love the introduction of some of these new ADV1 wheels. Also, by the way, these wheels are ridiculous. Why are they have like a... I don't know if that's just a reflection of the brakes. Or is it actually red inside? It just looks like the barrel is just fully red. Which I don't think it is. What sort of stock paints does this car actually have? Surely there's some really, really nice ones. The silver one's really nice. Grey is nice. Black is just a bit too dark. The blue looks really, really good on it. Oh, this looks nice. It's so over the top with the kit on it, but it's kind of clean. It tucks it so nicely at the front, and then on the rear, it's just a little. The track width is just a little bit too far out on the rear end. It is clipping, I'm pretty sure, just a little bit. All right, what's the drive like? The most important thing. Okay. I like the mix of slightly wider tires and then the snow tire compound. It's not very like I was thinking about it earlier, like it could be very counterintuitive, like I kind of want it, like, you know, oh god, I kind of want the slippery tire, but at the same time I still don't want this thing to be like just constantly sideways. I want to be able to like control it, because if I have really, really thin tires and I have very slippery tires, this thing would literally be all over the place. It would constantly want to go sideways. Whereas this, I'm forcing it to go sideways, which is kind of what I want. I feel like it may be lacking a tiny bit of power. We'll adjust stuff. We'll adjust some things. I'm gonna bring it down the mountain though, just to test this thing out properly. But I'll adjust a couple of things first. Okay, well I have to keep it really, really high in the revs if I want this thing to actually perform well, because we've seen that torque curve and it's Most of the power is up really, really high, around 6,000 RPM. Except for when I'm slowing down, I hate to slow down in the right gear, if that makes sense. It has a stupid amount of turbo lag. It's fairly easy to control though. I'm not like struggling to get it sideways, I'm not struggling to like hold the angle or anything like that. It is generally not too bad. But not too bad doesn't mean that it's good. I think I just have to get used to it, to be honest with you, because right now I'm actually kind of shredding. Look, I'm even staying on the outside lane. Like, I'm being very precise with my slide. That's not bad. I want to change one thing because it's really, really annoying me. Skills. Get off my screen. That's very, very annoying. I forgot because I turn them off a lot of the time, but there's one thing that I kept trying, and I think it was like a daily challenge or something like that, or it was like one of the weekly challenges on Forza that I was trying, and I didn't have the skills up on my screen, and it wasn't counting my skills, which was strange. Don't worry about the points. You can keep those in mind if you really want to, but don't really worry about those. I'm sort of just not only just trying to get used to the car, but also at the same time just trying to get dumb angles and stuff like that, try to push it to its limit, all that sort of things. All that sort of things, that makes no sense. I feel like my brain gets so fried every time I start concentrating it in this game. Every time I try to concentrate, my brain just dies. Yeah. Can I keep it in 5th maybe? For some of these longer corners? I haven't actually tried that yet. I'm a bit of an idiot for not trying it, but... Alright, I can. But it stays so low in the revs. And I feel like it's kind of struggling at some points to get going. See, like there, a little bit it did. Here I'm going out to 4th because this corner's a lot tighter. You see what I mean? I changed to 5th and then I'm holding down my throttle like fully, 100%. And it kind of struggles for a sec. I could possibly change my gear ratios a bit more, but at the same time, the length of 5th is fine. It's just the turbo lag that's getting to me. Fourth gear revs up really, really quickly. And it seems really, really solid to stay in 4th for most of the time. Here I'm gonna just slide all the way out. Let's see if 5th can catch me out. Yeah, it can. Tiny bit slow down here. Try to do an out and out, just like in racing, because I just wanted to get through that corner very quickly. I also want this thing to be the cleanest slide possible, because some of these corners aren't perfectly rounded off. You know, some of them are like square, so going out and out makes sense. Oh, here I should have probably just kept accelerating. I slow down a bit. Okay, big slow down here. All the way down to 3rd. Then at the 4th. Trying to go too far off the road, but I kind of have to a little bit. Hold up. Have a good entry to the next corner. It's not bad, man. I really, really hate that you can't engine swap it though. Really hate that you can't do it. I feel like it would have been so much nicer if I was able to just swap this thing. But last few corners in first person, maybe? It's quite decent, even in first person. Lots of visibility. Lots and lots of angle. It's, like I said, it's just not bad. It's not like insane or anything like that. It looks like it's absolutely way over the top. And I love that about the looks of this thing. Overall though, it's okay. It's not bad. Let's try to see if we can beat it with a different car. Okay, but before we do that, I would... Oh my god. I was just gonna say, before I go and I change car, I wanted to bring out one of my maps here because this thing's already quite low. And just to see how much lower can I actually get. Oh my god, if you're into the whole stance thing, the fitment on this is insane. Look at that. There's a lot of clipping though if I steer to the left, so I can only steer like this much. But that looks mental. I'm gonna try not to do too much steering. Look at that fitment. That is so clean. If we had track width, I would have probably changed this a little bit. Same with the rear. Rear, I kind of sort of added the tiniest bit more camber. I think it's towed out a tiny bit as well. So that's why it looks... Oh, this looks so mad. I definitely did not expect this thing to be this low. That looks so crazy. I like that. I guess that has to be the thumbnail, right? Alright, we go again. Let's try super wheel spins this time. So this time, it'll be part of the same spin. The budget and... Or the car and the budget. Nice. Nice. We got a Range Rover. And we also have 60 grand to spend on this thing. This should be fun. It should be really fun. Okay. Should I build this thing for off-roading maybe? I wonder if that's gonna be good. I don't really know if many of these cars have actually been used in this game to be super fast off-road. I think this is an A-class is actually quite good. So, and there's one build here. I don't know, someone sent it to me or something, I think. But this should be interesting. I wonder if I can build this thing. Yeah, it's not particularly fast, but I wonder if I can build this thing for off-road racing and then just try it for top 1000. That's the thought process here. So we have, like I said, what was it, 60 grand to spend building this thing, which is perfectly fine. I'll bring it up into like B class or something, I think, and we should be good with that. I want to give it some better tires, of course. That is the main and most important thing with this car. So I'm probably just gonna put these on initially. I think that should be good. That's 10 grand of our money gone though. That is very quick for that money to just go away like that. 135 horsepower. Engine swaps are very expensive as well, but this thing gets 510 horsepower though if I do this. 510. Oh, is this a Mercedes engine? I'm pretty sure that's a Mercedes, right? I don't know. That's looking kind of good. What are we looking at with this? Okay, so we basically just made it wider. It's already now in B class, so I don't really have to worry about that. I kind of want the better clutch and a better transmission. That's not very expensive. Our off-road handling, it's up at 8.9. All these transmissions don't really change much. I'm definitely going to put the race transmission in it though, because I think it's going to handle a lot better and it's going to be faster. This I'm going to put an off-road... wait, what's the cheapest one? It's the race diff, right? The race diff is the one I'm going to put on, because that's the cheapest one. You can adjust them anyway. It doesn't really matter if you buy the off-road one or the race diff. You still have fully adjustable diff. I haven't really seen much difference. We can get rid of some weight here. I mean, this thing in B class could be an absolute monster to drive. Off-road racing suspension, we can do that. We can also upgrade our brakes. I guess we're pretty much done, right? Is there anything else that I can possibly try and do on this thing to change it? To lower it in its class? I mean, possibly do this? We still have money to spend. That's the thing. We still have money to spend. So if I build this thing somehow into the top of its class. I don't think we need more power. I don't think we need more power. I was looking at it anyway, just in case, but I don't think we actually need more power. Maybe you can upgrade our brakes to have the best brakes possible. Oh, we can. Okay. Top of B class B700. We spent 57 grand out of our 60 grand budget, which isn't too bad. 510 horsepower now, and it weighs 1,521 kilos. This should be a different beast now. A really, really fast beast. I'm gonna take this thing, like I said, on some B class rivals and then try it out. I'm not very good at building off-road spec vehicles, like for racing, but I'll give it a shot anyway, and I'll report back to you in a minute. All right, I'm done. Like I said, I'm not very good at building these, but I think we should still give it a shot. Let's take it into rivals. Go to Horizon rivals. Obviously dirt racing. Or I have a better idea. Let's go to cross country. There's this one here, which I love doing. I don't know where I am in B class. What car have I used? Somebody's definitely sent me something here for me to try. The Mini Countryman that I ended up using, and that got an 828. Okay, I'm gonna select myself as the filter, and I'm gonna try this Range Rover here on a budget to see if I can beat that time or get anywhere close to it. I mean, I would be really, really impressed if I can, because again, I don't really build these things that often. But the Mini Countryman was something I think that someone has sent me for one of the videos to try their tunes, so that's why that's there. Okay, like I said, I feel like this thing is gonna be a completely different beast now, especially with all this power. It doesn't have a high top speed though, so I don't know how I feel about that. I will, however, get like a bit of a run up here because it's better. Plus, I get to keep up with the Mini and just see the line and everything that I take through all the corners and see how fast I am compared to it. I made the gear ratios quite short, so this thing can accelerate as quickly as it possibly can. Okay. I was gonna say, I don't really think I had to slow down there. I just lifted slightly, but that's it. Oh, I'm doing okay here. Oh my god, the brakes. I didn't have to brake. I didn't have to brake until much later than that. Okay. Get rid of all these, so I'm gonna have to crash into them eventually anyway. I have to slow down this. Just sort of lift off and change to fourth, maybe? By the looks of things. Okay, well, I didn't fall too far behind. I'll definitely have more speed than the Mini going into this. I'm gonna try to go wide here. Ah, too much sliding. Too much sliding from my end. I slid slightly in the Mini as well. Oh, I completely missed it. I completely missed it. I was trying to follow its line. Try to get as close as I possibly can to that flag, because if I go too far to the left, it's gonna just send me on a jump. So if I go a little bit more to the right, like I did with the Mini at that time, it's just gonna put me in a downhill. Okay. There I slowed down really late. I slowed down really, really late, and I slowed down a lot harder than probably what I should have, so I'll find a mix. I'll find a good balance. Just trying to oversteer too much and I should be fine. Oh god. Okay. I'm just breaking that fence. Oh, it does not actually go. Okay, it doesn't go away. That's fine. I was about to say, I'm going to be a lot slower now than the Mini because I broke that fence just before I finished. Oh, it's so bouncy. It's so bouncy, it makes me go really, really wide there. I might have to change my tune slightly though, because of that. And I don't know if I like these gear ratios, to be honest with you. I might make it a 5-speed. Slides a little bit too wide too. Okay, I think I know what I need to do with this tune to stop it from doing that. To get it to drive a little bit more straight, because right now I'm going into a corner. It's like oversteering slightly. And because it's oversteering, it starts to slide, and it obviously it gives you a slower lap time. But I think power-wise, I have more power than the Mini, so I can just send myself into all these. That was a little better, but still not fast enough. The Mini just seems to have a little bit more grip. Very bouncy again. I'm so close behind it. This surely is top 1000. This Range Rover. Yeah, I don't know if I like these gear ratios. I might have to change them. A 1 minute dead. Right, give me 1 sec, everyone. I'm gonna change my tune slightly and see if I can fix the issues with it. Okay, change it slightly. Let's see if I fix the issue. Let's see. I also made it a 5-speed this time around as well, instead of a 6-speed. So again, just gonna get a little bit of a run up here. So it's a nice comparable time to the Mini. First lap is going to be chalked anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, look how much better it is. Look how much better it is! That is significantly better to what it was before. So much better. It doesn't oversteer as much, it doesn't slide as much, it's just good. Okay, get rid of all that stuff. It's just so easy to like correct it. Also, by the looks of things, it's faster. No, did I change it into a 5-speed instead of 4-speed? Oh, I kind of went a little sideways there. The hop killed it. It's fine. What? Did I not go through it? I swear I went through the corner of it. Guess it's not enough. I guess that's not enough. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. But it's a flag time anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Maybe 5th I need to shorten slightly, because I end up going up this hill just after the start-finish line here, and it seems to be like struggling a little bit. I really don't like these gear ratios, so I changed them again. I went back to 6 again, because I feel like it was a little bit better with 6. It's just my handling. Obviously, I changed a bunch of other stuff on handling. But the acceleration is just better with 6, I think. And it doesn't struggle as much as well going up this hill. It's so much closer this time around. Look how close it is. 59.5. That is significantly closer to any other time that I've gotten before. Oh Jesus, that is, what is this wide line that I'm taking here? I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna have so much more speed coming down the hill. Yeah, here we go. I knew that was gonna happen. I was just gonna have so much more speed than the Mini. Oh my god. What a set of corners I just took there. Jesus. That was so clean. Also cornering perfection right there. Come on. Come on, the little Range Rover on the budget. Can you do it? Yes, you can. What an absolute beast. What an absolute beast. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't beat him by much. Well, I didn't beat myself by much, but let's collect the reward and let's see where I am in the world with that. It shouldn't be too much higher. I'm going to say like 700th in the world. I'm going to say around the 700th mark, because before I was like, what, 800 and something? So like I said, I shouldn't be too much faster, but damn. That was good. This is a good build. Top 1000 for cross country and B-class on a budget. I'll take it. I will take it. Alright, let's have a quick look though before we finish off this video. And where exactly is it in the world? Moment of truth. 704th. I was almost perfectly spot on. So there you go. There's another Range Rover right below me as well in that position, which is pretty mad to see. It's 420,000 people have done this, and I've done a Range Rover build in what, like 5 minutes? That's kind of impressive. The Scout, by the looks of things, is what's leading the club leaderboard here. Yeah, pretty impressive for a little Range Rover on a budget. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more videos like this on the channel, then of course subscribe as usual. Yeah, these are all like just budget builds, but they still both did kind of well. But yeah, that's it. Again, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.